was a nation built off of slaves. Why wouldn't racism still be happening now if we have done nothing to address that slavery and that oppression? Dynamite! Dynamite! I asked some people to send me some stories. Y'all did. So let's everybody just relax, take a load off, and let's get into the stuff that you came to see, right? Let's get into one of my favorite topics, the things we forgot to tell you last week. This is a segment where we have a bunch of stories that happened last week and we tell you about them. But this is kind of interesting because this story is happening in real time, and what we have is Ketanji Brown Jackson. I love how they say her whole name, middle name include, like they get the whole thing in there. Day 2 of her like 4-day onslaught, basically, of trying to get approved. And there's a lot you can take away from. There's a lot of positivity that goes on, but I just want to take away this clown moment. This is Lindsey Graham, who is just the biggest cocksucker of Donald Trump, and refused to bring up any charges, any remote charges as it pertains or relates to him. He refused to do it. He couldn't find the energy or, the patriotism to do that. But, he had no problem with Trump's adultery and his religion. He never questioned Trump's religious faith. But as you can see, he won't have a problem here.
Statement, and the people who introduced you to the committee, there was very glowing praise of you as a person, a good friend. You have a wonderful family. You should be proud, and your faith matters to you. What faith are you, by the way?
Senator, I am Protestant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Non-denominational.
Okay.
Could you... What does religion... Remember the whole statute of separation of church and state? What does this question have to do with anything? He's so weird. It's just weird to see someone like this and knowing like this guy somehow is like in charge of shit.
You fairly judge a Catholic?
Senator, I have a record of
I think the answer would be yes.
Judging everyone.
I believe you can. I'm just asking this question because how important is your faith to you?
Senator, personally, my faith is very important.
What does that have to do with anything?
There's no religious test in the Constitution under Article 6, and
there will be none with me.
And it's very important to set aside one's personal views.
Yeah.
About things in the role of a judge.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I believe you can. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how faithful would you say you are in terms of religion? I go to church probably 3.
It's just like he has nothing else, right? He has nothing else, so he has to somehow prove like her faith or her religion is in some way going to hinder her from doing the conservative will. Like she's like, if the questions don't even range to something, because most Republicans are ultra like conservative Christian people, so this would be a plus to her. But then it's like he's almost trying to say, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, you rank your faith of a 5. Oh, well, me personally, I'm an 8. So it's just like, that's like asking somebody, what deed did you do to get into heaven? It's nonsensical. But the only thing that mattered, and I just want to show him being a baby, because he brings up things like her being part of a club, a book club, not a book club, like a black law club, and then a black community in the Harvard Law and Harvard undergrad. But at both times, she wasn't there when it happened. Hopefully I can click it right. But then he brings up Gitmo, which Guantanamo Bay, where and that's the part where I kind of just want him to dig himself.
Talk about the nomination process. Because they're going to go back to the fight. Look at the friggin' Afghans fighting a crime. Failed miserably. If you're one of the people...
2009? 2000.
What does it matter when it goes back to? We had them and they got loose.
He's so country and so annoying.
According to the Director of National Intelligence, is 31%. Somebody is wrong here. If you're going to talk about what I said, I'm going to respond to what you said. If we close Gitmo and move them to Colorado, do you support indefinite detention under the law of war for these detainees?
I would just say I'm giving the facts, and
The answer is no.
I want to make sure that it's clear. The 31% you referred to goes back to the year 2009? 2000.
What does it matter when it goes back to? We had them and they got loose and they started killing people.
Well, I could just say...
Because it was George Bush, you idiot.
2005, does it matter to you when we released them?
Suggest that a president of your own party released him in...
I'm suggesting the
creating that
system has
danger.
failed miserably, and advocates to change this system.
See how he avoids that question completely? He's such a
What
baby.
she was advocating would destroy our ability to protect this country. We're at war. We're not fighting a crime. This is not.
Want to protect this country? How about getting us some health care? Want to protect this country? You had a chance before 1 million people died due to COVID. I guarantee you he's voted no on a bunch of bills. He's so disingenuous, it's almost
some passage
unbearable.
of time event. As long as they're dangerous, I hope they all die in jail if they're going to go back and kill Americans. It won't bother me one bit if 39 of them die in prison.
Yo, check out this dude's face. Look at this guy right here. Look at this guy's face.
It's
right
not
here.
some passage of time event. As long as they're dangerous, I hope they all die in jail if they're going to go back and kill Americans. It won't bother.
He's like, yo, chill out. He's like, yo, chill the fuck out. Yo, you're coming in way too hot. I don't know what got the fuck into you, but you're coming in way too hot.
One bit if 39 of them die in prison.
Anyway, this is about Ketanji, so let's talk about her. I was super. Wait, what? No, whoa. I thought I had it pulled up. Oh, here it is. I just wanted everybody to see this, right? This is a great little thing the Washington Post pulled up. It puts Jackson against all the current people. So Thomas, Breyer, who she'll be replacing, Roberts, Alito, I never know how to say her name, Ketanji, that's not Ketanji, King, Grosser, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. And as is pretty open shut case, the person she'll be replacing was the most qualified prior to her, and she will be the most qualified after he leaves. Thompson being on the lower end. Thompson and Barrett both being some of the weaker combinations of this. It's laughable to think that she isn't qualified. Her career is outmatched. She literally the only person that didn't go to an Ivy League school was this person, Barrett, the last one. So it's just really shameful to see people coming up with these ridiculous. When I say this, and I'm speaking on behalf of black women here, so hopefully I have their permission, but let the truth be told. A black woman has to do 10 times as much to just get half of the recognition, and this is further proof. This shouldn't even be a debate. People should be begging for people like her to get on. There should be literally a standard held. But we might have a chance to feel this sexy. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, and I think so that will put and then right now it's actually offset. So that's pretty interesting to see. Congratulations to her. She's gonna smoke these trials. We know she's good. Oh yeah. So we're not really worried about this. We know that she's gonna do well. And Tucker Carlson.
Fuck your life.
Next topic. I just like this story, but it makes me nervous. So I'm here to tell Netflix. Netflix fights password sharing with test of $3 extra member fee. If Netflix does this, there's a good chance that I'll just delete Netflix. Or probably, since Nafi's the one that holds the Netflix, I hold the Amazon account in my family. But this doesn't make sense. And there better be some decent restrictions or there better be some nuance to this, because ain't nobody got time for this. like you can't expect a family of, I think it should be limited to like 5 people. But all this talk about like trying to charge people extra, Netflix, this has been a staple. This is part of your design. And y'all already increased fees once this year. Y'all not making Squid Games again. Y'all didn't even make Squid Games. Y'all bought that. So y'all don't have nothing going for what you going, what, Red Notice? That's what you think the ploy is? Anime series that come out 3 months after the series has been out. Toonami gets that shit out faster than y'all. Netflix doesn't have any pawns to replay, and that's what they get for paying people $50 million per film. All those weak ass films on there. Don't do this, Netflix. It won't work out in your favor. They plan on test trialing this in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru first, but you just know it's coming here. You know it's coming to the north, and when it gets here, there's a good chance that I might never watch Netflix again, which is okay because the YouTube TV is way better. And HBO Max be hitting. I love the Harley Quinn series, so I'm okay to watch my Netflix go away. U.S. House stops clocks on making daylight saving times permanent. This is kind of interesting. So we can't get these motherfuckers to agree on getting us healthcare, but they asked to fix daylight saving times, not a problem. Literally not a problem. But they literally can't even do something that they all agree on properly. So for 80 years, a ritual takes place across most American. We talked about this last week. Every spring, but this is like fall, moving the clocks an hour ahead and an hour behind, namely daylight saving times or standard time. However, much of everyone's surprise, Senate unanimously approved a measure March 15th to make daylight saving times permanent across the United States. There was some like decent discord on this. But apparently they've ran into issues. The bipartisan bill named the Sunshine Act would ensure this. It's an important step, but I look forward to hearing from other members, said Rep. Hakeem Jeffries in the number 5 Democrat in the House. We were unexpectedly sent this bill by the Senate. Now we're trying to absorb it. He added to the Hill. The bill would make daylight saving times permanent, so it's in the House right now. Hopefully the House passes so we can at least justify them doing their job, right? So this doesn't matter to me. There was some questions about because they don't want kids walking at night. Fuck them kids.
Oh yeah!
Get y'all asses up, or you could just make school start an hour later. Because I don't. The logical reason for kids going to school at 6 a.m., waking up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. to be at school at 7 or 6 is mental. It's mental. Howard University faculty are threatening to strike over working conditions and wages. You know, it was all fun and games when the kids were doing it over living conditions in their dorm rooms. Now it's the teachers who got problems. Hundreds of faculty members at Howard University in Washington, D.C. say they are threatening to go on strike next week over complaints of unfair working conditions. During the demonstration held on campus Wednesday, several university faculty members, students, and alumni leaders rallied in support of the school's faculty as they argue what is low pay for non-tenured full-time teaching faculty and adjunct professors. Yeah, this is always going to be a major issue because, one, you have to work, those tenured teachers eat away at a budget in a department. I've seen it happen. I was part of a budgetary committee for this, and I know for a fact, especially the ones who 8 years, 10 years in, they walking on sunshine, and they ain't, you can't touch them really. You really can't touch them. So when I was a TA and when I was an adjunct professor, they used to pay me with lunch credit, get free lunch, put it part of your bill. It's crazy. Howard University isn't a cheap school. It's one of the meccas of HBCUs. You hate to see this happening, but you want to. I kind of hope that this was in conjunction with what happened with the students. I hope these same professors weren't on the sideline when the students were complaining about rats, mold, and asbestos buildup in the dorm rooms. I hope these are the same professors who were on the front lines when they were trying to gentrify the Howard campus by making a dog park available for the white neighbors that live nearby. Go fuck yourselves. What's the story about? I just looked up the other lady that all the Republicans wanted, and I just wanted to know why these Republicans said if you're going to pick a black woman, you should pick this woman of color. And I just found out that, basically she busts up unions. She doesn't allow workers to have unions, and she prides herself on, preventing and blocking unions. So, all skin folk and kin folk, right? But that was just for my short look at it. An interesting story here. Oh, clap it. Nafi's here, everybody. Welcome, Nafi. We missed you last week. You're an animal. You are an animal. Scottish judge blocks accused shooter extradition, citing poor conditions in Texas prison. Basically, a Scottish judge has said, they basically looked at the Texas prison that they would be sending this guy and said, we would rather keep him here and facilitate his punishment because Texas jails are so bad. Remember back in the day when they used to say, like, wow, I would never want to be stuck in jail in a country outside of America. Now we're that country. America's on such a decline, and it's fascinating to watch because there's a bunch of people who still think we're pretty cool, and it's that illusion of us being cool that is literally causing us to fail. Man, it's so important for you to have access to another country in this crazy world we live in. Shout out to us, because we're going back home, and we're not looking back. I found this to be interesting, and it's just a further look of how they will try their best, their darndest, to protect police. This looks interesting. Read this out in your mind if possible. Scottsboro officer killed, wife critically injured after shooting. If you read this, you would be under the impression that this officer died trying to protect his wife, who was also shot. If you read this after watching Batman, you would think that this is Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, only Martha Wayne didn't die. Joe Chill didn't get the second bullet off. But in reality, it's a false flag. The WAFF channel, the Fox News channel, wrote this horribly. A woman is fighting for her life after being shot on Monday night. Investigators confirmed that Scottsboro police officer shot his estranged wife before killing himself. Officials say 46-year-old Stephen Miller shot his estranged wife, Amanda Miller, at the home on the Berry Road. According to Scottsboro Police, Captain Eric Dongri, officer received report on the shots fired shortly after 8:50 p.m. March 14th. So this trash bag cop shot his wife, but this news outlet couldn't help themselves to tell the truth, right? They couldn't help themselves to just tell the truth of the story and let the facts be the facts. This is why it's so important to just read past headlines. This is why it's so important to take a step further and understand what's really going on, because they can feed you bullshit. And by the way, cops are trash. Gutter trash. Mostly black town in Tennessee loses financial control just as millions of dollars roll in. This is a very interesting story to me, and I'm more interested to see how often this happens, or when does this happen? Because for too long we'll hear shit like, hey, black people, we gotta pull ourselves up by the bootstrap. We gotta find a way of making for our own. And then imagine this community takes all this time to build up their own, get their own stuff, and then a bunch of white people come in and take it for themselves. Was basically going on a tiny town, majority of black, in a town in Tennessee, which was poised to benefit from a massive investment from Ford Motor Company. There's a part of me that thinks that Ford should withdraw the money from this partnership if they want to show allyship. Somebody needs to tweet that out. I'm gonna tweet that out after the show. They need to show ally. If they want to show allyship, they should withdraw the money and state that in order for them to invest, they need to have a structure where this will actually benefit the community. Mason, Tennessee has about 1,500 residents. Most of the elected officials are black and members of the Democratic Party, in stark contrast with the mostly white Republican-controlled Thibodaux County government, as well as the Tennessee Comptroller. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Controller.
Oh, comptroller. Okay. It's a weird way of spelling controller. It's probably comptroller. Comptroller. Jason Munpower. What a ironic name. Munpower almost ensue like this dude is greedy as fuck and he will do anything for power. Tuesday took a step to seize control of Mason's finances. The thing that was really interesting was at the end of the article, I thought to myself, like by the time I got to the end, I saw it. In 2018, the Public Development Authorities in PA in Pennsylvania transferred $1.3 million from the city development funds to a private nonprofit entity controlled by an all-white board that included former city officials just before the city's first black mayor was sworn into office. That's crazy. The Pittsburgh suburbs sued to get money back, and the city council agreed to settle that allowed the money to stay with the private group while having the city appoint just a single black board member. That's crazy. So like that's so crazy. But hey, you know, they're gonna find a way to cheat the system. But I'm curious to see what Ford's response to this would be. If Ford will pull that money out and say that make it a stipulation or something like that, because that's the only way this will work, because they're clearly using the system to their advantage. As a person who tried to go to medical school and failed miserably, I feel like this person should be allowed to get in. A medical student is caught cheating with Bluetooth device surgically implanted in his ear as he took exam in India. The level that he went to get this to happen and work for him. But like the thing about this whole situation is basically like India is super strict and they have super like ridiculous things that they do to prevent cheating. It's mindless if you ask me. There's no way that like it's that serious. But like in 2015, there was like this case where like 52 doctors had to have their licensures removed because they were caught in some big cheating scandal. It's too much for a place that doesn't have like a functioning, like, look, they're writing this on paper, right? Like scantrons and computers, this is just too much. But hey, it's the consequences of the world we live in, right? But I don't think he should be a doctor, honestly, because he'll probably do some shady shit with some drugs. I saw this the other day while I was driving around, and then I had to look it up to see if it was real. Wisconsin store with low gas prices being sued by nearby fuel station because they're not playing ball. Woodman, and just so we're clear, this whole gas is too expensive. I want everybody to know gas is so expensive because of greedy. It's not because of a war. It's not because of inflation. It's because of greed. All this stuff is happening because these companies want to make their money back after all that shit that's happened in the last 2 years. Greed. Gas prices are not high by me. Never have been, never will be, probably. Hopefully. Well, it doesn't matter. I only got to drive to 6 places. But yeah, basically they were trying to sue this, and I'm interested to see. I wonder if there's been a ruling. The Shell and BP operations are each suing Woodman's for damages roughly of $80,000 based on the number of days that Woodman's illegally outpriced them. Woodman's, and they're basically trying to use a clause saying that the same rule used to not price gouge people should be the same rule not to undersell other companies. So it's like they have an argument here, but as of today, GasBuddy.com shows that the Gas Woman 359 gas price unleaded regular, while nearby Kiwi Trip is selling for $358 and $349. Okay, that's interesting. That's So it looks like, I mean, people, they conformed. The market will decide. That's what capitalism says, right? North Carolina superintendent apologizes after mock slave auction. Mock slave auction was recorded on video, happened at a J.S. Waters School in Goldstone in the presence of staff and faculty, a racial equity group said. Did this happen back in 2018? No. Did this happen back in probably 2020? No. Did this happen in 2015? No. This happened March 16th, 2022. When they say critical race theory is not the problem, I immediately want to ask, then what is the problem? Because how does this happen? How does a group of adults trying to talk about slavery think it's appropriate for them to get all the white people in one class and then get all the black people in another class and then tell the white people, hey, we're going to sell the black people so we can show what it was like? This is mindless self-indulgence, right? This is the stuff we're talking about. Before I was so rudely interrupted, this North Carolina school has to apologize and make this out. But remember, this shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't have to apologize for these things. I had to close. Okay. You shouldn't have to apologize for these things, because if we took due diligence to properly learn about the dangerous implications of us doing this in schools, having mock slave auctions in 2022, that's a thing that people are comfortable saying out loud. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's even more insulting and insane when you think about this dude and what he represents.
Say that they're oppressed, and you look at your white neighbor and say that they're evil, regardless of the experience that you've had with them. And we're not going to do that. The parents in the United States of America, right here in North Carolina and Cabarrus County, we know that's not true because we believe the lives we live. The fact is, I've been a business owner right here in North Carolina, and I deal with white people, black people, Hispanic people. My children deal with everybody. And the racism is only happening at the government level and on the media. The fact is, you have racists, and there's like, you can't even find them hardly. You just hear the stories about.
You can't find any racist in North Carolina. Say it. That back then I proved it, and right now I'm proving it. But this is like that. This is that shelteredness of these people. That's that they don't want to believe or see or have any recourse, or like it's not even a tough decision. This was a nation built off of slaves. Why wouldn't racism still be happening now if we have done nothing to address that slavery and that oppression? That's mindless. That's the equivalent of having a toothache and thinking for waiting the majority of your life just because, you know, no one can see you in pain, it means you're not really in pain. It's just mindless. Like, but it's further proof that it's a conversation there to be had, but it's just about one people already. Now, Justice Clarence Thomas has been hospitalized after experiencing flu-like symptoms. Now, I want to go into speculations here, but first and foremost, you know, regardless of the coonery that this man has pulled, and being one of the lower approved Supreme Court judges, if you remember back to the list, we do want to wish for his speedy recovery, or at least a recovery enough so that he can retire and live a very peaceful life, not, you know, obstructing people's rights. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was admitted to Sibley Memorial Hospital in Washington, D.C. on Friday evening after experiencing flu-like symptoms. Court Public Information Office said Sunday evening, but he does not have COVID-19. I hope he's vaccinated. If he's not, tough shit. He underwent tests with diagnosed with an infection and being treated with intravenous antibiotics, so that's pretty good. His symptoms are abating. He is resting comfortably. So he's probably gonna be fine. But hey, we almost got another one. I want him to live, but he just can live without being a Supreme Court justice anymore. Retire. Juicy. Clap it up for Juicy, baby. We out the doghouse. Clap it up for Juicy. Drop a bomb. We out the doghouse. Juicy will not spend any jail time in jail while his appeal process is going. This is a win for him. This is a win for black people in general. I didn't want to see him sitting in jail. I thought that was kind of overkill for me. But I can see how some people are probably butthurt by this finding because, you know, it was a hate. Okay, shut up. Like, no one really cares about this, but I do think it was overkill to have him in jail for 150 days. So I'm hoping that they drop this and make it less impactful to him. Yeah, like, I just don't see it. Hey, there goes Judge Jackson. And we have, in our final segment, now if you get in the Discord right now, video of Ted Cruz arguing with Montana airport employees and law enforcement officers got involved after Senator missed his flight check-in. I bet you if he was going to Cancun, he would have made it. Beta! Clap it. If he was going to Cancun, he would have made it. He would have made it. But he wasn't. So fuck. We don't really care about you, Ted Cruz. But there is some video of this that did circulate. Is this the video? Yeah. There's lying Ted Cruz right there. Late for his flight. Law enforcement had to get called. I don't know, like, he was just being such a update. Just wanted to add some context because my post has gained some attention. As some people have pointed out, you can't make out what he's saying in the video. It wasn't my intention to create a propaganda hit piece. I just wanted to show the interaction as it happened. I wasn't directly involved in the situation, and I don't work for the company involved. Just happened to be in the area when it happened. I did overhear bits and pieces of the conversation and got so much of the rest of the conversation from others. It's not uncommon to see at the airport an entitled Karen missing his flight. So at least we can confirm he missed his flight. And for that and that reason alone, we applaud that. We appreciate that. Oh yeah? Yeah, we love to see it. We love to hear about it. I don't think he deserves the credit he was getting. We're too nice to Ted Cruz. He needs to be bullied into submission. You feel me? So clap it up for that. You feel me? Drop a block. And, you know, for the meantime and in between time, you feel me? Like, you know, hey, that's it. We did it. Hey, yo, we clap it. We made it to the end of the show. I appreciate all y'all being here. I'm gonna go get Nafi, and then we're gonna be BRB, all right? Like, share, and subscribe. Do all those cool things. Peace.